Mila loved her garden. It wasn't a very big garden, just a small patch behind her house, but it was Mila's. This small square of earth, bordered by smooth, river-worn stones she had collected herself, felt like a secret universe. Mila often told her plants her quietest thoughts, believing they listened far better than her older brother Leo. She had planted every seed with dedication, carefully tucking them into the warm, brown earth during the late spring. She had watered them with a tiny green watering can, always humming the same little tune, a song she made up called Growth, Growth, Go, as she watched patiently for the first signs of life. Her favorite plants, the absolute gems of her green kingdom, were the sun-kissed petals. They were bright orange and yellow, striped with streaks of deep crimson, making them look like tiny, fiery suns that had somehow tumbled out of the sky and landed gently on the ground. Mila imagined they smiled at her every single morning when she rushed out to check on them before breakfast. They represented all the patience and hope she had poured into her project. One sunny Saturday, the kind of day that smelled exactly like freshly cut grass and warm dirt, Mila was playing her favorite garden game, leapfrog log. Her dad had left a big, bumpy, half-rotted log lying at the edge of the patch, and Mila loved to pretend it was a very large, sleepy, and grumpy crocodile. Her super important mission, her whole heroic purpose that day, was to leap over the log without touching its scaly back, or else she'd be snapped into 1,000 pieces. She took a running start, her bright pink trainers pounding on the grass like small, eager drums. Her first leap was perfect. She cleared the log with inches to spare. Her second leap was even better. She felt like a superhero, her arms wide, soaring through the air, her braid flying behind her like a colorful banner. For her third leap, she wanted to be extra impressive. She closed her eyes for an extra long moment, imagining herself flying higher than the birds, maybe even touching the clouds with the tip of her toe. She held her breath, believing the magic of the moment would carry her. Whump! Instead of landing gracefully on the soft, forgiving grass, Mila landed with a big, clumsy, painful thud right in the middle of her precious patch of sun-kissed petals. She opened her eyes slowly, the magic moment shattered. Her bright pink trainers, the very shoes that were supposed to be carrying her to glory, were squashing down mercilessly on what used to be her cheerful orange and yellow flowers. Snapped stems. Crushed, delicate petals. Bent leaves, wrinkled and broken. The beautiful, smiling sun-kissed petals were now just a sad, flat, brown and pink mess. Mila's heart sank like a stone in a deep, dark pond. A long, mournful pause, emphasizing the silence. A wave of hot, heavy, embarrassed sadness washed over her. She had done this. Her own silliness, her own desire to be a little too grand, had ruined the most important and beautiful part of her garden. Tears pricked fiercely at the corners of her eyes, making the blurry scene even wetter. She slowly, carefully, lifted her foot, but it was no use. The flowers were broken. Truly, hopelessly broken. They were injured past what felt like fixing. She looked around the yard, her head swiveling, desperately hoping no one had seen her terrible, selfish mistake. Her mom was inside the kitchen, humming a cheerful tune that seemed horribly out of place. Her dad was in the garage, hammering loudly, oblivious to the small tragedy unfolding just a few feet away. No one knew. But Mila knew. And the injured earth knew. And the poor, flattened plants definitely knew. "Oh, my poor sun-kissed petals," she whispered, her voice tight and wobbly, like a guitar string that was about to break. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I promise." She felt a big, tight, heavy knot form in her tummy, right beneath her ribs. She had worked so hard. She had watered them every day. She had waited so patiently for weeks for them to burst open in their full glory. And now, because of one silly, unnecessary jump, it felt like it was all gone forever. Wiped away. Mila didn't want to look at the squashed patch anymore. It was too painful, like looking at a broken toy she had loved. She turned and ran inside, not slowing down until she was safely in her bedroom, leaving her broken flowers and the whole ruined scene behind her. The bright Saturday sunshine outside now seemed to mock her, shining directly on the very spot where she'd made her mess. She stayed huddled in her room for the rest of the afternoon, drawing grumpy pictures of logs with mean-looking crocodile eyes and aggressively avoiding the window that looked out onto the garden. She felt like a big, clumsy, careless monster. She wanted to forget about the garden, about the flowers, and especially about her big, bouncy mistake. Later that evening, when the sun was finally sinking and painting the sky in soft pinks and oranges, colors that reminded her of the very flowers she had ruined, her mom came to her room. "Mila bug," her mom said gently, sitting carefully on the edge of the bed. "I noticed the sun-kissed petals. They look very sad. What happened out there?" Mila, still curled under her duvet, mumbled into her pillow. I accidentally squashed them, Mom. With my feet." She slowly looked down at her hands, feeling the guilt cling to them. "They're ruined, Mom. Completely ruined. They won't ever come back." Her mom didn't scold her or frown. She just sat quietly for a moment, then she put an arm around Mila and gave her a gentle, tight squeeze. A comforting, slow pause. "It was an accident, sweet pea," she said calmly. "Everyone makes mistakes. We all jump too high sometimes, or rush too fast. And sometimes, we hurt things we love without meaning to. But flowers," her mom continued, her voice dropping to a warm whisper. "Guess what flowers are really, really good at?" Mila shook her head against the pillow, still feeling the lingering sadness. "Being squashed?" she offered miserably. "No." Her mom chuckled softly. "They're good at second chances." Mila finally looked up, her eyes wide and confused. "Second chances? How?" "When you break something, you can throw it away," her mom explained, tracing a pattern on the blanket. "But plants are different. When a plant gets injured, its whole purpose is to renew itself. It doesn't give up. It starts growing again, right away, sometimes even stronger because it learned where the danger was. And not only plants," her mom added, tapping Mila lightly on the nose. "We are good at second chances, too. We learned that lesson from the garden. You made a mistake, but you are not a mistake. You can be kind to yourself, and you can be kind to your garden. You can try again." Mila thought about this. The plants weren't just going to lie there and stay sad. They were going to try to renew themselves. But they couldn't do it alone. She felt the heavy knot in her tummy loosen just a tiny bit. "So, I can still help them?" "You can absolutely still help them," her mom confirmed. "The accident was yesterday. Today is about renewal." Mila sat up straight. She looked out the window one last time. The orange glow of the sunset caught her eye. It was time to stop being the clumsy monster. It was time to be the gardener of second chances.